Welcome back. Let's talk for a minute, okay? I was asked by someone that doesn't play Warframe, what's the deal with the veteran content? I think that's a reasonable question. Let me answer that for you. Warframe currently doesn't have an endgame, in my opinion. It has lots of Warframes, lots of weapons, lots of action, cute stuff like floofs. The grind is fun, leveling things up, but what's the purpose? For example, in an MMO, they release the base game and there's a goal, an enemy to defeat. It's a grind to work up to getting what you need to beat the enemy. It's a tough fight. You beat it, feel like a badass, and soon there's an expansion with a story many don't care about that repeats the process. In a strategy game, you have to level up units and figure out strategies to eventually whoop ass in a big fight at the end. Even with first-person shooters, there's an enemy, you have to ramp up, you see what I'm saying? Warframe doesn't have that. They have something similar. For example, in Plains of Eidolon, they have the sentience, the boss that roams around in the area, but from what I'm told by veteran players, they made mincemeat out of that rather quickly, so that wasn't challenging really for them. But the idea is there though, but that's not end game. Right now, in my opinion, there isn't an end game. Now keep in mind, Warframe is still in open beta, meaning it's not done. Now y'all know, I don't agree with the spreading onto other platforms, but you're still in beta and charging for it concept. I'm not down with that, but Warframe is a free-to-play game, and it indeed is not done. It has pieces almost like modules, but they're just getting to the point where they're putting those pieces, modules together. Once upon a time, Steve had a dream. And it's taken him a decade, but he's finally getting to the point where he can make that dream a reality. Railjack is part of that dream. And who knows what the entire dream is. From a technical standpoint, Railjack, in my opinion, is something to be proud of, even if you aren't into it. As I watched the demo, I kept saying, like, how are you doing this? How? Why am I mentioning this? Because the technical aspects of Railjack had to be time consuming. They've been working on it all this time. And I'm hoping once it's out, I would imagine that a huge time sink will be removed. Of course, there's probably another one on the table to replace it. And I think that's the veteran content. And I think Lotus is part of it. I hope killing her mother, and all of her sentient family is part of it. They probably won't let me kill her, though. Because, well, realistically, it's Rebecca. So Lotus will probably pick us over her family, and she'll be back like a leech. And I really hope not, because I don't want that lying bitch back on my ship. Oh, I should do a video on how hard that story hit. That was some good lore. That was some good lore, because I hate that bitch. You remember how she played me for a complete fool? Even though I didn't trust her. But she still played me. And thinking that my operator was my God, no. Breathe. Anyway, speaking of Rebecca, that's how I know. I know veteran content is coming. Rebecca is a veteran. She actually plays the game, loves the game, and that is very rare in a game that's been developed and has been out for this long. Usually devs or people, they'll start playing because they're all passionate about it, and then they phase out. Steve is the idea guy, but he can't come up with ideas, code, manage, delegate, etc., and play. If you notice in the live streams, when it comes to playing the game, he's not as skilled as Rebecca, and that's okay. That's okay, because when he goes into the game, he's looking at things completely different. Does it look okay? Are the shadows right? How can the code be optimized? That's his area of expertise. Rebecca, on the other hand, is that hardcore pro veteran player. So you know she's bumped into the same wall as veteran players have. And I can imagine her being frustrated at times, coming up with a cool idea, only to hear that it's on the list for one day. Because the reality is, it costs money to develop and it costs time, which is the most expensive commodity we have. Because we don't get that back, money can be remade. When Guild Wars 2 had their staff reduction, Digital Extremes put out the word that they were hiring, and I was impressed by that because that's a good sign. Why hire if they have nothing on the table? You know what I mean? So the signs are there. Veteran content is coming. To summarize, veteran players have completed the current content and have nothing to do. Mid players like me have different levels of completion, but might not feel compelled to rush through what's available. New players are in heaven, leveling things and doing what new players do, but they might be more casual. Put the game down, pick it back up. Digital Extremes has the task of pleasing 3 sets of people, just like every game company does. If they release something cool, people will come back in droves. Then the goal will be to retain them. So I hope once Railjack is out, they can solidify a content release schedule so players know what to expect and when to expect it. I'm not necessarily talking about big releases, but let's keep it real. Eventually, unless they release a Warframe that is epic, eventually veteran players will be like, oh, a new Warframe. That's why I'm hoping the operator becomes a viable playstyle. It would free up some time for the devs and crew to revamp some of the old Warframes to match the current content because they're, like outdated now, specifically in mechanics and in graphics, and work on other content. There are a lot of loose ends, lore and content-wise. It would be nice to see those things tightened up. Some things were removed from the game. Are they coming back? There are lore events that aren't in the game now. What the fuck? Add those back. As a new player, I was hella confused because pieces are missing. Never put important lore in a time-gated event, please. I have no problem with the game event being gone. That's fine. But the lore? Come on now. Companion mechanics they've been working on that forever, along with Melee 2.0. What's up with that? So yes, there are a ton of things that need to be finished. But I realize that this takes time. While we wait, I play a little, put the game down, play something else, come back. So yes, that makes me a casual, but admittedly, there isn't a reason right now to be more than that. I mean, that's the truth. I'm passionate about the game, but I'm realistically passionate. Definitely not a white knight because, and let me be very clear about this, I don't give a damn who's playing what. I received an email that Anarchy Online is celebrating an anniversary. I find that more interesting, that people still play that, than who's left Warframe. Matter of fact, guess what? I found my original Star Wars Galaxies install discs. Oh, and I am trying so hard not to get sucked back into that game because I love that game. I love that game. And there's always that fear that you get back in and then you're like, your cookies are spoiled. It's not the same anymore. But that game was awesome. I have so many good memories in that game. So I'm trying not to get sucked back into that, but that is way more interesting to me than Warframe drama. Pray for me. So anyway, that's it for this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is there a game you're trying to resist playing? Let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one.